Hello everyone, my name is Val and today we have a not so long ago released BellaBeauteBar Ocean Jewel 20 shades eyeshadow palette in very interesting colors. I haven't seen such a palette so far, and it's both deep dark blue, purple and neon-y at the same time, like something hidden deep in the ocean. I will tell you everything about the formula. I will show you swatches. I will tell you how to work properly with this. I found a better way to interact with this palette, so to say. I will show you 4 makeups that we will do together, and this one is the 5th one that you can find later in shorts. And if you're interested what it is, how much, what it does, how to work with it, what can I do with it, let's begin. So today is a Sunday actually, and it's midday, and I'm starting off with some BellaBeauteBar Ocean Jewel palette. As you can see, it's very dark and like a deep ocean kind of vibe with a bit of neon colors. It is pigmented enough to show up, and you also have this neon-y color which can lighten up some specific areas. And I want to point out a couple things before we start. So first of all, I have some pigments in this palette. For example, the Shipwreck. When you touch it, you need to swatch the shades on your palm or on your hand just to see how they feel. Yeah, just to feel them. Because some of them are actually more smooth and silky, and some of them are more harsh and dry. The ones that are dry and more coarse to touch, this is actually a pigment. You have to be careful about it. All the darker shades, I think here, like Submerged and Shipwreck, are actually pigments. And I will try to confirm that actually. Shipwreck is for sure, so Quahog and also Conch as well, Pressed pigment. So there are quite few of them that are pigments, so they feel different. And those pigments are best to be applied on top of already existing eyeshadow color. So this palette, as far as I found out, is best to be taken from light to dark rather than from dark to light. I will show it in details a bit later. And the second point is that these colors will look exactly like in the palette on white. If your skin tone is somewhere in the picture, then the color will not look as it is in the palette. It will change a bit, which is normal. This is how colors working. But if you want them to have like the most payoff in their original color, you need a white base. In my case today, I am using the shade Sink to a Whisper. It's a paint pot by MAC. It's slightly white. It's not like overpowering on my skin, because I am pretty white already, but I want to try it out, and if I will like it, I think I will use it for the rest of the Bella palettes, just because this is how I see it's best. Yes, it's a bit of a trick and it's not how people usually go for it, but it's my review and I want them to be as pretty as they can, if you know what I mean. So the disclaimer is given. Let's start with something in the palette. I see a few distinctive color stories. So I see the purple one, I see the blue one, and we have a neon-y ones, and a bit of a it's actually like also a purple beige and a bit of brown. We will go by the color stories. I think I will do 4 looks with this palette, and we will find out everything about it. So let's begin. As I said, I am starting not from the dark, I'm starting from the lightest, and I'm gonna build the frame out of the lightest shade, which is Fleur de la Mar, because I want to go by the purples on the back, and then we will have the bluish one in the front. Fleur de la Mar I'm placing into the inner corner and then stretching it by the crease to the brow bone and all around the eye, basically, just because this is gonna be really helpful in the future. Then I'm going to the shade Quahog. It's already a pigment, and it's good that we placed some eyeshadow before it, because Fleur de la Mar is... no, Fleur de la Mar is also a pigment. Anyway, it's good that we place something lighter to then place the darker on top of it. So Quahog I'm placing to the outer third, but not into the very end. It's gonna be a later available as the very end, and I am just dragging it a bit into the crease and into the beginning of the eye. Also, don't forget about the lower lash line. And the darkest one, I will take the shade Submerged and something like a pencil brush. As I said in previous reviews, for pigments it's best to be applied with dense brushes. Also, if you are taking a pencil or flat-ish brush, it's better for application of the pigments because you can dab it on instead of like wiping it all the time. So I am placing it and trying to stretch it into the shape I need. It's the darkest, but it's still quite manageable. Just don't try to swipe it too much. You need to be more precise with it. And there at the very end, you can see the difference of how it applies onto the bare skin versus onto the color. It will have little dots of pigment sticking to your skin if it's not covered with anything. And it will not look good. So it just gets into the pores, and this is not a good look. For that specific reason, you need to place something under such a shade, and then it will be totally fine. So I am taking back my Fleur de la Mar and going over to blend things in. That's the idea of this look from the matte's perspective. And I think we will add the starfish into the very beginning of the eye just to make it a bit different and a bit more blue. So it's bluish purple, like blurple, I think it's called. And it will be like a not the biggest statement in here, but it will just break the purple pattern a bit. I also want to mention that these purples will most likely stain pink. So nothing I can do about that. I will have to like live with this. But when I was swatching this palette yesterday, I got some stains in place of the purple shades. So I'm still thinking which shimmer to take here. I feel like the Abalone and Colorful Moon are something we already saw a lot because these shades exist in the Gloss Gods palettes and I made a tons of look with that stuff. It's blue to purple or to pink shift. I have plenty of them, let's say. So I will go into the shade Oyster. It's not liquid, but it very nicely gets applied to the brush. This will be the main shade of the lid. The shift is pretty much the same as the other two that I described, but it's just a bit more interesting in my opinion because it also has colorful sparkles in there, and that is something that I can appreciate. So this will be the main one, and I want to also apply the shade Heart of the Ocean, which is purple to blue, but it also gets into the green at some point, and the purple is almost red, so it's kind of very interesting shade, but I don't want to place it right now all over the lid. It may be the next makeup look that we will go into. So that's what I'm placing to the bottom, and on this note I think we're more or less done. I do want to like go over with the beige matte from the Melted Mattes palette, which is fully matte palette for like helping out with such scenarios, and it was on sale for 30 euros when I bought it. And I want to go into the beige, but I kind of find it a bit unfair because not everybody has this palette and it's already sold out, so yeah. Anyway, I think that will be the look for now, and I am so far pretty happy with how it turned out. I will create the rest of my makeup and come back to you with the finished face. This is the makeup I came up with at the end, a bit of a black liner, a bit of the Kaleidos Night of Creation in the waterline on the bottom lid, because this is the perfect match to the Heart of the Ocean shade. They are the same multichrome kind of thing. Nothing too crazy, there are many of them, but anyway, this shade in the front, the main shade, is actually a lot of holographic sparkles, not holographic, but like colored sparkles, more of that, and it looks very nice. And overall this makeup look is quite good, but yeah, the purples will stain. This is unavoidable at this point, but I blended it nicely, I think, and they look really good. So the strategy of going from the light to the dark is fully here, and this allows the pigment first to be, so when you place the dark pigment without a base, without any shade underneath, it goes into the little pores basically, because it's so finely milled, it goes into little pores and stays there. And then you like brush it off on the other places and it stays in the pores and it doesn't look good. So to avoid that, you need to fill them first with something more light, more into your kind of skin tone shade, or something just lighter than the darkest one, and then go with the darkest one. And that gives quite a nice, really awesome, in my opinion, application. So in this scenario, I would recommend going with such palettes, a majority of BellaBeauteBar palettes, and darker colors to be placed on top of the lighter colors. So start with light, go to dark, and use brushes that are dense. So you don't need the big fluffy brushes, you need something more dense to apply the pigment strategically rather than just going crazy about it. So that's my opinion right now. I don't see anything that is like going into crevices or anywhere, so it's really, really good looking right now. And it's been, I don't know, a couple hours, hour for sure, hour and a half maybe. So that turned out to be really cool. I'm loving it, honestly. I'm just very much into it. And I also used Baked Blush Face and Cheek palette by also BellaBeauteBar, and the shade Muffin. It's this one here, light pink. You can apply it very pigmented, but you can also apply it very lightly, and then it just a hint of color. Pink and purple go together okay, and that is why I used that. I think that's pretty much it for now, for the eyeshadow at least, and for the Bella. What else do I have on my face? Same MAC and Bobbi Brown combo, same Sephora contour stick as well. I already told about blushes. How Many Carats by Fenty Beauty, because it's just very light, not doing anything crazy. And then I used Endless Cacao pencil for the lips and Kaleidos Free Fall gloss on top. Really cool combo, I enjoy it a lot. You may not like the mineral oil kind of vibe from these glosses, but they're really nice. And that is it for now. I am pretty happy with everything that is happening here. I'm pleased with the makeup look. I think I find new ways of working with palettes, and it gives me joy, honestly, because when things work as you want them to work, this is just so good. I did not use the melted mattes, but in case of trouble, if you have any issues with the eyeshadow, unfortunately this palette is sold out, but use any skin toned shade, matte shade, to help you blend things together. That's what I can tell. And on this note, I think we are good for today. I will see you tomorrow in the next look. So I decided to go into blue look today. I want something really, really, how to say, oceanic, and that's what I will be doing, at least attempting to. So as far as we understood, this needs a white base ideally. I have a Sink to a Whisper by MAC, which is a paint pot, just a cream eyeshadow technically, and I filled up everything with it. Now I'm going to take, so next point, as I'm repeating, this eyeshadow are pigment. They need to work from lightest to darkest, not the opposite way around, as usually it happens. So we need to start with the lightest, and now in my case this is a sea glass. I'm gonna fill up everything up to the brow with it. This will allow to fill up any gaps, any pores, anything on the eyes, and later the pigment will glide on top of it instead of getting stuck somewhere. So that's the idea, and let's begin. After I'm done with the sea glass, I'm going to take, I will be interchanging the brushes here and there. Some of them are smaller, some of them are more blending brushes, so pencil brushes or flat brushes. And I'm going to take the Sunken Treasure. This will be my first outlining for the crease. I will start with the outlining crease fully. My crease is kind of weird, and I'm not sure that I will be able to repeat this shape on the other eye exactly like it is here, but I will try to do whatever I can, you know. And I'm outlining the whole crease, basically giving it a bit of a line. Then I'm going into shade, let's take Jellyfish, because I think it's between the shade Sunken Treasure and Shipwreck, so we're gonna take it for the purpose. There are glitters, little particles of glitter in this shade, but I don't think they will be visible really. So that will be the second shade that I'm going through and just setting into the same thing, same crease line. The last one will be the Shipwreck. Shipwreck is the darkest, and I'm just going with the thin line and outlining the things in a way. So now I will go and we'll start doing the... So I'm leaving a gap between the darkest part of the crease and what I'm going to fill up with the other colors. So I'm taking back the Sunken Treasure and placing it onto the pretty much the whole area, because I need to set where the shades are gonna go, and it's like a big wing pretty much. And from here I take the shade Jellyfish and go over the third of the eye, the outer third of the eye. Then I will take the shade Shipwreck and place it into the very end. And also, as you can see, they're blending with each other nicely because there is a pigment already. It already filled everything that you need, and it just melts into another, and it's just working, you know. This is so good and so easy, actually. That's what I'm doing right now. Once I'm done with that and the shape is more or less okay, we can cut out the areas so it's a bit more clean. I will use that base, and as usual I have little tiny brushes for the cleaning of eyelashes, and I'm going over the little area between two shades, the darkest and the others, and I am also cleaning up the very edge of outer edge to make it more sharp. This will be the idea, at least. Once the cleaning is done, I'm going here and there, and with a wet wipe I just wiped the bluish concealer basically on the outer edge, because I don't really need it. It was just for making the pigment catch up onto something that is still wet, and then wipe it away. That's the idea, because just set dry pigment is not that easy to wipe away, and when you are mixing it with like concealer or cream, it's much easier to get rid of without like getting in trouble. Taking the shade Luminescence and setting into the gap exactly where it's supposed to be, so it's nice and sitting there as if it belonged there. And now we are ready for our shimmers. So we have 3 shimmers in these 2 rows. The lightest one is Nautilus, and I'm going to set it into the inner corner, a bit to the lid, and mostly to the bottom lash line. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. It's very nice on blue, and it's just so good. Next shade will be Nacre, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It also shifts to purple, and it will be our middle shade. I try to set it to the mid to last third of the eye and mix together with the Nautilus. And then continuing with shimmers, I am taking the shade Shark's Eye, is the darkest. The brush I'm having here is not the most convenient for this shade, but this will do. And I'm setting it to the very end of this liner, basically, because it is a liner. It looks like one. So once this is done, I am more or less ready for the working on the lash line. I don't think I need much, just some work on the lash line, and after that I will come back to you with the finished face. So this is me. I did not decide if I'm a mermaid or Ursula, but this is so pretty. This shines in the light like crazy. This is Nautilus in the inner corner. It's sparkle, like a true sparkle, and just so pretty, so pretty. And the algorithm of the work with this eyeshadow is definitely from the lightest to darkest. You need to fill up the everything on the lid with the pigment, and then it will blend like butter. And as you can see, I can even create something really graphical with it, because there are no problems of working with it anymore. So if I had some problems with the Green Goddess and Vamp, because I did not know how to work with them at first, like, okay, it took me 2 palettes to figure things out, but still, that turned out okay as well. And these makeup looks are just bringing me joy. I know how to work with stuff. They are truly pigmented, they are so amazing, and they blend like nothing is in trouble. It's so good. You cannot imagine how good I feel about it. So yeah, all the shades that I used today are 2 rows, it means 8 shades. And that turned out like, I'm loving it. It's true ocean. This is truly an ocean to me, and it's like somewhere on the tropical island, and the light shines through the water, and it's just so good. I'm so in love. I think this is great. So interesting and so much character. Yeah, so I don't see anything that goes into creases so far. It's been around 1.5 to 2 hours since I applied everything. It took me some time to apply the second eye, of course, but I'm looking at the first one and it's okay. And application with dense brushes for mattes and silicone brush for sparkles definitely works for me, and it just does the thing. I'm just happy. I'm happy that it's good makeup evening. I'm happy that I found the way of working with them, because I really love color stories of BellaBeauteBar and I want to keep buying them. So I think for the eyeshadow that's pretty much it. If you have something else, what you think about it, maybe you have something to add, I will be happy to read your opinion. And I think that turned out awesome. I'm super happy about it, honestly, just super happy. What else do I have on my face today? So I finished Bobbi Brown foundation finally, and I switched to this guy. This guy is Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover, very thick cream foundation, and it's for oily skin. I have no idea why I bought it, but now I have this and I need to get rid of it. I mean, use it up, just like Bobbi Brown. I tried also mixing it with Face and Body foundation, but the formulas are very different. Pigment still stays as it is, so I need to find a way of mixing something light with this foundation, and yeah, I just have to make it work. There is no other option. Then I also have Sephora contour stick as per usual, and then I have also BellaBeauteBar blush palette and the shade Cannoli. It's this orangey shade and it's like nice bronzing peach almost. I really like how it looks, and this is the shade. I like this palette actually, it's pretty nice. I think Bella needs to create more colors of blushes. Then as my highlighter today is a Colourpop Jubilant Chorus. It's very smooth highlighter. I really like when my highlighter is smooth, when I have something sparkly on the eyes, and when it's sparkly when I have something more smooth on the eyes. So I'm just matching it like that. Then on the lips I have MAC Stone as a pencil, and Buffiest as a lipstick. This formula is great. The application, the wearability, how it feels. It's just slightly drying, but I love this. I bought Rekindled this month, finally. And this is pretty much it. That's all I have on my face, and good makeup day, good makeup day. I'm so happy about it. I'm happy that I found out how to work with them. I'm happy that I just can create such things. And yeah, ocean eyes. Okay, that's so far it. I don't have anything else to tell. And I will see you tomorrow in the new makeup. So I did what I could, and now we are going into the third makeup with BellaBeauteBar, and this is cursed usually look because I forget to get mascara on one of the eyes in third looks. That was happening in first two palettes. Maybe this one will be different. I hope it will be different. So let's begin. We are doing Hello Eye today with the purplish shades and neon yellow and the shade Mother of Pearl. So let's begin with shade Conch on the very fluffy brush. This will allow me to just place it onto the whole lid without too many problems. So take it as an application for the whole lid. That's why the brush is so big. And this is actually quite a nice shade. It's slightly pinkish and I do enjoy how it looks. And it doesn't really matter. Also as a base I have today Sing to a Whisper by MAC, which is white, and this will allow me to get a bit better payoff of the shades, but not like exactly crazy. So next I'm taking the shade Tortoise and I'm going to apply it in the Hello Eye pattern, the modern one. So I will use 3 different brushes for this shade because I need the more precise application. First one to draw the outline in the inner corner. Next I'm switching to a bit fluffier brush but still flat dense brush, so I can apply it as an outer corner and slightly blend it, so it's like a liner with a bit of a blend. Nothing too crazy really, but still a nice way to apply these shades. And then I'm going with conch back and forth so that I can blend things together. If you apply conch on top of the turquoise, you get the middle shade. So if you need a middle shade, you can just use lighter shade on top of the other one and blend them a bit together. Then one will lighten the other and change the color a bit. So I am creating the inner part being empty and corners darkened, just like usually I do. So nothing too different from my regular application, I would say. And then I'm just blending things here and there. Once I'm more or less happy with how this looks, I will actually go into the yellow shade, because the yellow shade is going to be our accent color, and I am taking it into the inner part to the brow. So it will just be there in the corner, nowhere else. I will probably also add such a bright yellow to the bottom waterline, so I can have it somewhere and it's gonna be matching. And I'm just going with the sundial and then turquoise to clean up the edge. So you can do this edge to edge kind of application, or you can clean up first and apply the shades one-to-one with just a bit of cleanup, so nothing too crazy. I'm also taking a bit of turquoise to the outer area to kind of create a liner, so it's the darkest part, and I'm also going by my lash line. This will be my main thing here. I don't think I will go into black too much, maybe just a pencil for this smudge slightly look, so it's not overpowering. With this very interesting shade, I don't even know how to call it, it's slightly purplish brown. It looks very interesting on me, but it probably will look different on somebody with a warm undertone. So just be prepared for that. And then we can go into our mother of pearl shade, and this will be the main shade for the lid. I will not use any other really to create this look, so we can have it focused on the mother of pearl. And I am applying it with the silicone brush Carla K1 and just into the center, slightly dragging it outward so that I can have a nice shifting shade on the main lid. And it has very interesting sparkles in it, but I don't see them too much right now. The lighting is probably wrong, it's too soft, and with a different light it will be more prominent. So that's the idea of the makeup look. I will need to finish up this whole face and I will come back to you with the finished result. This is my look. I feel like it looks a bit like a bruise on me because of the colors, and it's like I feel a bit like an owl as well. It's a weird feeling, I cannot describe this, but like dark eyes with a very specific shape give me that impression, and I cannot do anything about it. But I did not expect them to be such purple, so it's muted purple shades. One is more pink, one is more purple, of course, the darker one. And you can use it to darken up some other colors. So you have a bluish purple and you have a pinkish purple, like red undertone purple. And this one works, that's why I think it works great with this palette. At first I did not understand that it will be like that, but as far as I tried it, I think it kind of works with the whole palette. I think the color story is actually cohesive with each other for all the shades that are present here. So I am pretty happy with how it turned out. Also the technique right now is very good for this kind of application and for these shades. So you apply the lighter shade all over or in the areas where you will blend the dark one, and then you apply the dark, and it all just works. All works. No problems. Like, I don't know how I lived without it before. I actually didn't like to go from the lightest to the darkest, but it's justified. It's justified technique. And I am really loving how blended it looks. Like, it's so smoky, but not too much, but not too little. I think it's great. The shades are totally fine. It's been approximately 2 hours. They don't want to run anywhere. They don't want to go anywhere. So they are totally good. You can also see the duochrome clearly, and it's more of a pink when I'm looking straight. So that Mother of Pearl is more on the pink side, even though I think it doesn't really have any base technically, but you see the pink. You still see the pink. It's great. So I am enjoying it. I think it's great makeup. I think it's looking really nice and cohesive. And except maybe for the neon color, but that's my bad. I use it like that. If you want to do more of a nude-ish makeup, you can just remove the yellow from here and it will be all good. I'm pretty sure that it's great on its own without anything. But that's just a variation of what I can create, what I want to create. And yeah, that's so far it. I'm very happy with the outcome and with the blending and everything. I'm getting the enjoyment, you know? I'm getting the joy of doing this makeup, of working, of the process, of results at the end. It's all so good. So for the eyeshadow, I think that's so far it. Then I also used the same palette, Baked Blush by Bella, and the shade Macaron. This one here, it's slightly more cool pink. And I thought that it's gonna look great with my main shift on the lid, and it's very nice pink on me as well. So I really like this. Looking good. As my foundation today, I used NARS Light Reflecting in Oslo mixed with a bit of a MAC because I need it not as pink but more light. Sephora contour stick as per usual, I'm not changing that. As my highlighter today, I have a Star Surfer by Kaleidos, so it's a space age highlighter. I want more. I think they will have a sale somewhere in nearest times, so keep an eye on that. In my waterline, I have the shade Sour from Color Case by Mitchell. Sour is this one here. A bit more yellow, but it's a like neon, and you can use this for the base of neon color in this palette, so they will work together greatly. You can just apply a very thin something and then bring the eyeshadow, even though this sets by itself, but eyeshadow will make it pop even more. Kind of cool idea, kind of cool product and everything. And on my lips, first of all, I want to tell you about the Taupey shade by Romand. This is a lip mate pencil, and taupey shade is like a shadow for your lips. So what you do with this pencil, it's very thick, so you're not actually lining your lips with it. What you do is you create a shadow underneath the bottom lip and on top of this Cupid's bow. So you only do the top and you do the bottom. It has a brush on the other end, so you can use it to blend the edges. So the edges here, the edges there, and then you use your regular liner on top. So you need to create the shadow higher and lower than your natural lips. This will give you volume. I don't actually have very full lips or lip fillers, anything like that, but it does work and I think it looks good. This is slightly overlined, but not too much. I only overline the very center and corners are always mine. Then I have 951 by Colourpop. Lippy pencil as my main liner, and Posh by Huda Beauty as the gloss today. I wanted something more purple, but I don't have anything except Last Smoke, and Last Smoke was not too fitting, so Posh it is. And that's it. That's all I have for now. That's all I have for today, and I can tell I'm very happy with how everything works so far. I also broke the curse of not having the mascara on the third makeup, and I have everything today and it looks good, in my opinion, of course. So if you want to tell me something, please do so. And tomorrow we will try something with Heart of the Ocean and blues on the bottom, purples on the top, something like that, probably like a mix of bunch of colors. I want to try it out. I want to see how it all works together. So the last makeup of this review will be very interesting, and I see you tomorrow. So it's the last makeup that we will do together. I was thinking a lot about how to proceed with that, and I decided to do just a gradient with one type of colors on the top and one on the bottom. We will go by purples into the top, then blues will be the connecting, and greens and yellow will be at the bottom. So I'm starting with the shade Conch all over the lid, just to kind of set the tone, to have something on my lid after all. As you know, this is important for Bella's palettes and just generally gives a bit more security about your eyeshadow look. Once it's applied, I can go into the actual darkest shade. It's a turquoise, I think. And I'm just setting it into the corner. I will work with the small sections one by one, and at the end it can be all blended together, and it doesn't even matter how good you are at blending because everything will be covered with a shiny shade anyway. So then I'm going into the shade, I mix Submerge with Quahog to create a bit more purple, like a warm purple, and from there I also go into the Quahog itself and shipwreck onto the bottom lid. Shipwreck will allow to give the transition, so it's a really nice way of dealing with such things. And then it's easiest right now for me to go by the bottom lid, so I will go there. From Shipwreck I will go into the Sunken Treasure, the middle tone blue, the teal color, turquoise, then the Sea Glass, nice mint. Mint will be the next one. Then I will go into the Luminescence, which is green, and from green into the yellow Sundial. This just creates a very nice neon-y look in this all darkness. And then by the top lid I will go as well. Quahog is going to be next because it's only one that makes sense right now. We mixed, as I remind you, that we mixed Submerge with Quahog, and then Quahog itself is the one that is logical to go to. Then from Quahog it's Fleur de la Mar, and I'm going here and there, back and forth with all these shades, just so I can kind of have a mix. And finally we will go into the Starfish. And then I'm just mixing things together, going back into the shades that I already touched. This allows me to have a bit more of a control. And once I'm more or less happy, I think it's time to get into the shiny shades. I did not actually decide anything about the shiny shades, and because of that, let's start with the Heart of the Ocean. I think it has a very nice, interesting shift, and this will be the main lid color. So I'm applying it from the darkest parts with a silicone brush. It's not best with a silicone brush, it's just something that I really like to use. But I want to switch into the MAC 242S. It's a dense, more or less flat brush, not exactly flat, but more or less flat, and I will try to apply it with that. Best, of course, gonna be applying with your fingers, because this is a shade that needs some density. And also it's best to be applied onto the glitter glue, but I don't like using glitter glue, so I would have to skip that. Then I am not sure what to take. I will try the shade Abalone because it seems more interesting to me, but it's flakes. You gotta be careful about that. And I took a bit too much, so I'm going to scrape it on the edge of the refill slightly so that it's not too overpowering. It's typical blue to pink shift, but it can look good in the inner corner here, so I'm just applying it into the inner corner and approximately till 1/3 of the eye, so it's kind of just being there, you know. And then I'm thinking where to put the colorful moon. The only place actually left is under the brow bone. It's also blue to pink with the pink base, so I think it's the only logical way to put it under the brow. And that is what I did. It may require some cleanup still, but I think I only need to work through my lash line a bit, finish the other eye, and come back to you with a ready face. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll be back. This is the makeup I came up with, and I'm so freaking in love with it. This is so amazing. This palette is like a peacock at the same time. Lots of purples, lots of blues. This very interesting multichrome because it's going crazy, and it's smooth and underneath as a base, and then on top I placed the shade Nautilus. This sparkles that are likely slightly teal turquoise, because I wanted something from the bottom lid to match the top lid slightly, like to tie things together. And also the Nautilus is so sparkly that I just decided to put it, and it's like that bioluminescent plankton on the ocean beach something. I cannot describe. It's beautiful. In real life, in the hard light, even in the soft light right now, it's sparkling and it's so freaking pretty. I just dabbed my finger into it and dabbed it all over. The center, I did not stretch it everywhere, just in the center, like a moonlight, basically. And I'm so into it. And this eye is also kind of a bit better than the other one because I already knew what I was doing here and just worked magically. The only thing I cheated with is actually neon colors. Neon colors by themselves are getting away from you, so they need something to be applied on, and ideally it needs to be the same kind of neon-y bright color. And I used the color case, the shades that are here, like a neon-y color, just as a base, and then on top the eyeshadow. Neons are generally very weird in themselves in all palettes, and they are not as staying for some reason. So these are the shades. The others are totally good. They are staying normally, they do not disappear, they blend normally on top of each other. But these neons need a bit of additional help to pop. Otherwise they will be a bit more muted rather than neon-y actually. So I really like how things turned out. This is pretty much all the mattes from this palette, and I think I will not do anything better than this for now. This is like top tier for me of how the things could have worked. Yes, it took me quite some time, but I'm so happy how it just got together and everything looks beautiful. They don't want to run away from me. There are lots of pigment beneath the shiny shades, so they are not actually going anywhere. And yeah, it works. It looks great. I'm very happy. I just don't have too many words right now. So, also this multichrome that's underneath, crazy good. Like, you can clearly see it. I love this in shiny shades. I don't want to search for a shift. I want it to be present already. Also, I have this palette, also by Bella, and the shade called Shortcake. This pink is a shortcake, very pretty on me, and I am loving this palette, especially for the price that it was sold by. I think it was €9, so it was a really good investment. I like this palette. All of the shades are wearable, each for the specific look, but all of them are really good. So I'm enjoying this. Really happy I have it now. And really happy I have other palettes as eyeshadow as well, because I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it for now. So, what else do I have on my face? MAC Studio in white I mixed with a Tarte Shape Tape 20B, so I can get myself a bit of coverage in the light enough color. The Sephora contour stick is the same blush I told you about. Kaleidos Skywalker is my highlighter today. Very nice. I think it matches the bluishness of the sparkles on the lid. And yeah, I think it looks good together. These are more of a glitter highlighters than smooth, so they are giving this nice effect. Then I have Endless Cacao and Acting Natural by MAC. This is Makeup Forever. This is MAC. I wanted something nude, completely nude on my lips, so that I can have these dark, prominent eyes. Because they grab all the attention, I want them to grab the attention. That's why I'm muting everything else, making it nude. And I found this choker that is like bluish purple, that kind of goes well with the eye look. So this is what I got as a result, and I'm super happy about it. And it's one of my favorite looks that I've probably ever done, especially with such dark shades. So I'm really loving it and I'm really into it. However, tomorrow I will do one more look, more neons, I guess, so that I can also have something neon-y for the summer. And then I will tell you everything that I think about this, and what you can do and what you should not do, and everything that you are supposed to know. Overall, everything about this palette that I think. And for now, I'm done, and see you tomorrow. So, the last look. I actually wanted something completely different, in the same schema but completely different in colors, and ended up with this. And it kind of reminds me of the space rather than ocean at this point. I don't know, it's just feeling weird. Also, I want to point out that I tried to do this look with different bases. So this eye was done without the colored base, without the color case specifically, and this eye was done using the shades from color case, especially in the center. I used the lighter shades, and they do change how the shades are there, but they also don't allow too much of a blending, because those are creams and they are self-setting, and those are eyeshadows. So if you need a bit more smooth, a bit more, I don't know how to tell, blended look, then you probably don't need a base. And if you want bright right in your eye, especially for the neon shade, then you need a base. So the neon yellow here is on the base, on both eyes, but the blues in the center are not. So I just wanted to try it out. I wanted to see if there is a big difference. I wouldn't say that it's a big difference, but the difference. So the disclaimer is done. Now we can go into the palette itself. So what do I think? The packaging is as usual. Bella has a very good packaging in general. It's all very pretty. It's going crazy everywhere. The information here, it's duplicated on the sleeve of the palette. It's all the same. So it comes in a lot of bubble wrap, and inside, on the places where you see the shades, sparkly shades specifically, there will be little circles that cover the shade and prevent it from falling all over the palette if it's breaking during the shipping. So that is really good. This is like taking care. This palette is also magnetic, which affects the price, and it has a mirror, which also kind of affects the price. I unfortunately broke the mirror in mine because I dropped it from the like 30 centimeters or something, and yeah, just the mirror cracked, but nothing else. So the palette itself is fully intact. My bad, nothing that can be done. So we have 20 magnetic shades, all the shades as usual. You can take them out and put it into the smaller palette if you want to take something with you. All of them are written, they have a name on the opposite side. So on the back you can see the sticker with the name. Really convenient, really good stuff. We have 11 mattes in one shimmery matte. It's sequin matte, as it said. Here it is in the center, and we have, if I'm not wrong, 7 shimmers, including one holochrome. I assume that a holochrome is this mother of pearl, and it's very interesting shade indeed, and it does give you holographic sparkles, but you need to apply it to some sticky base, like pack it really, to see what the things are. For others, I forgot to tell you about the weight. 320 grams. This tells me nothing, but I would assume that they are around 1.8 gram per refill, because they are slightly bigger than Nomad. Nomad has 1.5 grams, and they are not as big as Odin's singles, which have 2 grams. Then what else? It's vegan and cruelty-free. There is no carmine or anything. There is a red lake pigments. Of course, there is a notice that some of them are not usable around the eyes, which is a typical USA notice, because some pigments are not approved by FDA, and in Europe they're totally safe to use around the eyes, and etc, etc. Just a disclaimer here. So the shades themselves really surprised me, especially these two. I thought it will be more like a nude story, but in fact it's also purples. One is more into the skin purple, and one is like a darkening kind of purple. I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised. We have the color story of underwater treasures with a bit of neon stuff, so like maybe some fishes are swimming there as well, neon ones. So when you touch the shades, I'm showing you the swatches hopefully right now. When you touch the shades, you also can feel which of them are pigments and which are not. The pigments are a bit more dry in texture. You can clearly feel it with your fingers. The others are a bit more buttery soft, so you can also feel them normally. The shimmering shades are, some of them a bit more moving, some of them a bit more dry. We have very interesting shades like this, Heart of the Ocean. It goes into very cool orange red. Then we have this shade, Oyster. It's wet, as it's supposed to be, because it's oyster. And it's actually like also with a bit of holographic sparkles, very interesting one. Then I really like the shade Nautilus. It's crazy sparkly. It's one of my favorite shades in this palette. And then Mother of Pearl, that is supposed to be a holochrome, and it's a bit harder to catch. But if you like sparsely apply it, or if you really pack it, then you can clearly see that. The color story itself is very interesting, especially if you're in love with like purples and blues, because a lot of looks are turning out to be purples and blues. The only two that are here, and you can cover them, you can cover the neon ones, and then you have like a ocean palette, pretty much. Like just nice deep blues and nice light blues. So if you are confused, this is the actual color story, and these are 2 additional shades just for the accents. It's good for the summer. I think it was a nice launch for the summer, and I do enjoy working with this palette since I found the way of applying things. It's a base of makeup artistry, as I was told. I never really learned the makeup artistry as on a course or something like that. I was watching some master classes, but never really went through like a basic course to get the education. So what is apparently told on this basic course is that you are not supposed to place the eyeshadows, especially pigments, especially dark ones, directly onto the lid. You need something to be on your lid before. So the base is clearly like Urban Decay is the base I'm using, the primer Potion I think it is, in original. It's I'm wiping with the wet wipes, I'm wiping the lid, I'm letting it dry, then I'm applying that base, so nothing will ever move from it. Then I'm applying Sing to a Whisper, because I wanted this to be a bit more colorful, because these are colors you will see on white. This is not the color that you can see on like tanned skin. This is compared to white. This is what you will see on the paper, that you will see practically on me. I'm almost as white as it can be. And if you need them to be this specifically, you need white base. Sing to a Whisper by MAC is one of the options that I used. I think it's a good option, especially on top of the Urban Decay. It's just a self-setting cream product. And then you need something like a powder, a finishing powder, eyeshadow in the white color or in your skin color to help it blend into the skin, or at least the lightest shades from these. So before you start diving into the dark ones, it's best to apply something all over and then go with the dark ones. I think it's justified because the blending then is better. So with synthetic brushes you need to work the pigment into the brush first before applying. With regular natural hair brushes you don't have to really do that. They are able to move the pigment around a bit better. But if you're working with synthetic brushes, you may need to work the pigment into the brush first and then apply it on your eyelids. That way you will avoid the darkest dot that is not blendable. So not to leave the spots, to have a more precise, more blended application, that is a better way. So as I try to specify everything that I found out about this palette and how to work with these things, I think it's just good to mention such little, I don't know if it's tricks or just a regular type of work, but yeah, that's the way to go basically. That's what I would recommend working with this palette. And now for whom this palette can be very useful. The creative makeup artists, the makeup artists in general, bloggers, or somebody who really loves these colors. So on a regular basis, on a regular day, on a regular human being, I don't think you need it, because this is a very specific color story. So you don't have to get everything. I'm counting myself more of a collector of these items by this point. I want to have all the palettes that Bella produces because I just love the inspiration I get from them. I love the color stories, I love how I can create new things, different things, but this is definitely not the daily usage for a regular human being. You know what I mean? Because this is just, it's unnecessary. This is not needed. It can be fun for the festival, it can be fun for some specific occasion that requires something similar, but you also don't have to buy the whole palette for that. You can find, I don't know, water-activated paints in neon colors and get with them. So yeah, I think it's actually unnecessary, but if you really like it, if you really want it, if you're ready to get to know how to work with this palette, how to better apply it, if you want to learn something with the pigments, I think it can be a good option. And especially if you are a blogger or collector, then I guess it makes sense to buy this palette. Speaking of which, what is the price for that? So if you are in the USA, this palette from the official website will be 75 United States dollars. You can get a small discount. I will leave my code in the description below. This will allow us to get the affiliate commission, and I will spend it on a new palette to also present it here. And I'm thinking that if you are in the North America, it probably makes so much sense to buy it from official website. However, if you are in Europe, this will be 75.50 from Monolith, and this will save you quite an amount of money. To be honest, I bought it from official website because I wanted few palettes that do not happen to be here in Europe at the point of buying for me, which was like a month ago, and I wanted this palette, so there was a sale and I wanted this palette as well, but sale ends 2 days before the palette release, and we agreed with the brand that I'm grabbing my sale stuff and they wait a couple days and then I buy this palette additionally, and it comes all together, which did not happen, unfortunately. Something went wrong on their side and I had to buy this palette separately completely, and paying shipping was returned to me because that was supposed to happen all together, but the taxes that and import fees that I had to pay here made this palette more like 120 euros compared to 75.50. So if you think Monolith prices are big, it's actually not that big. It's when you buy in bulk, like 4 or 5 palettes at a time from the official website, then this price can be kind of justified, because you buy a lot and then you pay less in import fees than for one. Just buying one is not a good financial decision, so don't be like me. And if you have an opportunity to buy from a local reseller, then it's definitely a way to go. So it's up to you if you want to grab something, if you want this palette specifically, or you just wanted to have a look on how it performs and what it can be done with it. In any scenario, I am happy that you decided to join me in this video. Let's have a look on all of the makeups I created with the palette, because there are 5 of them total, and I'm super happy about everything. It definitely brings me joy to work with the palette, even though sometimes it's a bit difficult to do this on camera. But anyway, I am very thankful that you stayed with me till the end of this video, and I would really appreciate if you can subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. Next time we will have a bit of talk about some Chinese brands and what I can create with them. Until that time, bye and see you soon.